John Archie here with Ain'tItCool.com, coming to you from my local neighborhood comic book shop, The Gatekeeper, here in Topeka, Kansas. Talking to one of the owners, Dustin D. Dustin, what's big this week in the comic book shop?
Well, the first thing I pulled out of my long box was Fantastic Four number 10. Now, if anybody hasn't read the FF, really, it's the best book that Marvel's putting out, and it may be the best book in all of comic books right now. I mean, Hickman is hitting a home run with every one of these issues. And what happens in this issue is Ben Grimm kind of comes back into the fold of the FF after being away with the Avengers. And of course, Spider-Man is also an Avenger and on the FF. And there's some great dialogue. And the past couple of issues have been knocked because it's maybe been a setup issue for the big mega plot of the multiple Reeds attacking our universe. But the dialogue in this is outstanding. And just like there were such great Spider-Man, Human Torch moments before, we get a Thing Spider-Man touching moment, and we get some good Reed and Sue touching moments. I mean, it's just a fantastic superhero book.
Awesome. What we got on the DC side?
From DC, we've got Shade number 1, which in the 90s, comics sold really well, but they weren't very good. One of the few exceptions was Starman by James Robinson. And now coming out of that is a new Starman miniseries about the Shade, and really about his origin story. And it's pretty interesting. There's a really huge twist. I don't want to spoil anything, but a really big twist at the end of the book. But he's definitely one of my favorite anti-heroes, and it is such a good character building book. And again, this had such good dialogue and some good moments with some favorite characters from the old Starman series, and setting up kind of a new plot and kind of a flashback of Shade's origin.
Now, do you have to be really into Starman to enjoy this book?
That's tough to say because I am a huge Starman fan. I would think it would only help, but you know, all the omnibuses and everything are out, so it's pretty easy to get caught up on. But if you like the character, if you liked any of the Starman stuff, you're going to love the Shade miniseries.
Nice. And what else we got this week?
Well, I also picked out Kevin Keller number 3 from the Archie series. Now, personally, I really like the Archie books, and you know, I've been kind of intrigued, you know, what's going on with Kevin Keller. In it, it's kind of like, our store manager Jim said, it's a lot like a 50s style Archie story, and he's right. It's you're presented with a problem, you've got some adversity, your friends stick with you, they help you out, and you know, you're able to overcome, you know, your problems with a little help from your friends. In this, we also get a couple of new characters that looks like they're kind of building Kevin into his own little supporting character list. And so he, you know, obviously is working with Archie and Veronica and all the other regulars that we all know at Riverdale. But it looks like he's getting a few of his own characters, adversaries perhaps as well, and it looks like it's actually got an ongoing plot. It's not purely episodic. You know, there's going to be what happens in this issue is going to be important when it happens next issue. And that's a kind of a change for a lot of the Archie books. And pretty interesting, though. Pretty good read.
Now, what did you like best about the book?
Well, it's very nostalgic for me. I think growing up, when my grandma would take us to the grocery store and we'd buy these 3 packs of Archie and Whitman comics, and my sister and I would just, you know, spend hours with our noses between those pages. And so to see that still being published today, and it's still in the same vein, and these are all ages books, but they're still well written, and that's what kind of surprised me, is that even as a 30-something adult, I still enjoyed the same book I read when I was 7 and liked. So, yeah, I've got nothing but nice things to say about it.
Excellent. Well, we'll check back with you next week, see what's new then.
Sound good.
Until then, keep checking back in with Ain'tItCool.com for more news and reviews. I'm John Archie.